We'll start
Let's
off
roll.
at the top. The next thing to come out will be May 1st of 2020. We have the Black Widow movie.
And what better way to kick off a new phase of Marvel films than with a movie that takes place between two movies from a previous phase?
Yeah, what
With a
better
dead
way to
person.
kick off this new era with the person that died at the end of the last one? This is 5 years too
guys,
late.
I'm sensing your sarcasm here. I've got it.
This is 5 years too late.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, I get that you're embarrassed. It's not you personally, you being Marvel. You're embarrassed that Captain Marvel was the first female-led superhero movie you did. And yeah, you should have done Goodbye Black Widow however many years ago. But doing it now is just weird.
It's weird.
I mean, belated spoiler warning, but she dead. Like, I don't get it. And also, like, poor ScarJo, although I also feel she's one of these people that's
Oh no, we ain't
high profile, but maybe not that great of an actor.
We're not poor ScarJoing. When she gets to play the goddamn tree she wants to play, then
yeah, in fairness, that's all right. I had forgotten those ill-judged comments. Okay,
Yeah.
And she's not even the worst.
She's not been served well. Full stop. Like her, whatever. The character of Black Widow has not been particularly served well in the Marvel Cinematic Universe until the last film, when she then died. So.
I agree with you, because she's the only reason I watched that first Avengers movie. I hated these movies, but I said, "Ooh, there's a woman. There's a woman.
There's a woman.
There's a woman. I'm not used to them." No, I was like, "There's a girl. I'm in." Like, I got that cool scene when she's on the chair. I was really in, and then I never got my movie with her. And then Scarlett Johansson just kept being Scarlett Johansson. And I've gotten into debates about this with people because everyone's like, "She's so bankable." No, she's not.
She is statistically
really
not.
How she keeps the profile she has, because I can't really think of an excellent film she's been in.
I feel like we've all just been giving her a pass for Lost in Translation for like 15 years now.
Yeah,
Somewhat voice acting in her.
Yeah, she did great in that.
I don't hate Scarlett Johansson, but
me neither.
Look at her box office record as a lead. Like, I actually like Scarlett Johansson, but as a lead, she is not bankable. She is statistically proven time and time again.
Yeah.
People have tried to bank on her, and it does not work.
Now, there have been...
You know what makes me sad is that I'm pretty sure the reason she continues to get parts, and this is not me getting at her like it's not her fault, but Hollywood is run by men of a certain age, and Scarlett Johansson is a stunning woman, and she is pretty to look at, and people will just go, "Okay, well, she looks nice on screen. We'll just put her in this film."
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely think that's a large part of why she gets these parts.
She's a Woody Allen girl too, so there's that too.
Yeah.
That's why we don't pour Scarlett Johansson her. Like,
Yeah, no, I know, and I'm really sad when I keep on looking at all these actors and realizing they were in a Woody Allen film.
I forgot about
10
Shop
years
Girl.
ago.
Yeah.
God's sake.
But
can we focus to the movie, because we have spoken nothing about the movie?
No. I was going to say that I
don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not really interested. That's my take.
There have been good, like, Black Widow roles in the MCU.
Yeah.
The first Avengers, she was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier, she was freaking great.
I think she's great in that.
And, of course, in Endgame, I really liked the arc and the way she portrayed it. But that being said, it's like, let her die.
Yeah, she had a good arc. There's nothing that this can offer. It's a female spy movie, which, again, there have been good female spy movies. Mm-hmm. They don't make money.
Atomic Blonde was rad.
I loved Atomic Blonde. I don't think it made any money. And Charlize Theron is way more bankable than Scarlett Johansson.
That is truth.
So I don't know. The thing, it really is that they just were shamed into making this movie that they should have made 5 years ago. If they had made this movie 5 years ago, I'd be on board.
I'm going to be on board anyway.
I mean, I'm going to go see it, obviously, just because I am forever chained to this.
Until they give me a truly bad MCU film.
A Sisyphean task to watch all of these goddamn superhero movies. But, no, it's just not that interesting. It's not good timing. It's actually incredibly bad timing. You would do better to do this in 2 or 3 years than to open up your new era with this.
Because the only thing that you can do is like, oh, this is the secret plot that you didn't know about that was happening during the Infinity thing. It's like,
I guess, yeah.
Because you've got to give us some tease of what the next overarching thing is. It's going to be assumed that's going to be some Galactus type
When
shit or
does
whatever.
this take place?
This takes place between Winter Soldier and Infinity War.
All right, whatever.
Yeah. So, cool. I don't know what's happening. Does she come across some scrolls or some shit? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Nobody knows.
Well, people, it is coming out. She's dealing with Taskmaster, which just came out, like a leaked image of it. Looks fine, whatever. David Harbour's going to be some Russian-ish villain in this. Florence Pugh is her like friend that she kind of says, you don't have to live the life I did. I don't know. It seems been there, done that. It seems late. This is like the prime movie for me, though. It's female-led. It's a spy movie. I like Black Widow as a character. I don't know why I don't want to see it, and that's what blows my mind.
Why is David Harbour the new Jeffrey Dean Morgan?
I'm okay with it.
He's eternally popping up and stuff, and like he's not doing anything too terrible, but just
forever mediocre.
Incredibly, just like his mediocrity just starts to grate on me to the point where I don't like him. Like a year ago, I would have been like, yeah, David Harbour, fine, whatever. But now I'm just like, fuck David Harbour. Like, stop putting him in things.
Why is he getting the roles?
I don't know. Next are the first Disney Plus Marvel show, which I thought they were going to like have something pretty close to launch.
Yeah, that's the only reason I was interested
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, they're launching with The Mandalorian, which looks like one of the more interesting Star Trek things. But the first Marvel thing to come to it will be in fall of 2020. It's the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't.
Which apparently this is taking place after Infinity War yet again, or after this whole
because the logo has Cap Shield on it.
So it's not Falcon, it's Captain Falcon.
Yeah.
Captain Falcon sounds great.
Yeah, it's already taken.
Falcon Punch.
I didn't even do the Smash Bros. Guy. Oh my god, that's so funny. Wow. I didn't even do Smash Bros. Connect. I will say, look, I am kind of another one. I am a Stucky person. I will watch Bucky's robotic arm and his flowing hair in any movie. I don't care about this, though. I like Anthony Mackie. I'm glad he got the shield. But also, I felt like I got that moment already. He got the shield. Bucky somewhat said bye to his boyfriend. I'm done with these two. Like, that's you kind of were saying this with Black Widow. Like, now the next two things we'll talk about, I think, is the actual kickoff of Phase 4. It feels like the fresher stuff. These two, I just feel like, these are your old faves. We're not changing too much. And then they're like, haha, we're dramatically changing a lot.
Yeah, these are bookends with characters that because our bookend previously was the Spider-Man Far From Home, and that's a character we haven't followed through all this. So this is kind of a bookend. These are kind of bookends with characters that we have been following for a little while.
Sense. I don't know why they had to get a show, though. That's weird.
I'm not excited about it, but also, like, if you've got an idea that I'm not excited about, sure, make it a miniseries on a streaming service. That's fine. I'm not offended. I'll watch it, but I'm not pumped. Next, we get in November 6th of 2020, we get Eternals. Kevin Feige came out.
I don't know anything about these.
Neither does anyone else. Kevin Feige came out, and his introduction was like, "This movie is Jack Kirby has Jack Kirby all over it. It's pure Jack Kirby," and that's fun, especially if you're a fan of Jack Kirby like me and 50-year-old men.
Yeah.
But honestly, as a huge Jack Kirby fan, like, you can look at my bookshelf, like this behind Gerald right now, it's just a ton of Jack Kirby stuff. Like, every other thing has that man's name on it. The Eternals is like a 28 issue, maybe it's even 18. I don't know. That shit's it's ancient alien weird bullshit. Like, he read Chariot of the Gods and was just like, I'm gonna do that. It's like, okay, there's some really pretty art in it. It's not a very compelling concept. You get the Celestials in it, which we've seen glimpses of. Like, I think they show it, like the Collector shows a Celestial wielding an Infinity Stone in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. That's fun. They can do something interesting with it. It's weird. It's certainly, there's no way it can be a Marvel movie as we've known Marvel movies, and that's the most exciting thing about it.
All I know about this really is that the cast, they announced Angelina Jolie and Brian Tyree Henry.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only two names I personally recognize. There might be more that I'm just forgetting, but those were
Kumar
like,
Nujami.
yeah, him as well.
Richard Madden was got big off Game of Thrones. He was you didn't watch it, but he was Robb Stark in that.
He was also in Rocket Man. If you've seen Rocket Man,
yeah.
You haven't seen it yet, but yeah, good actor. Kind of a name, but hasn't really done his own. Hasn't had like a really breakout thing yet, but could be decent. Good casting for Icarus. I like this cast.
I will say I have one issue with this, and this kind of is an overarching Marvel conspiracy I have.
Mm-hmm.
They're really infamous for getting a movie out before DC can do it. And DC announced forever ago New Gods, and then got a director with it with Ava DuVernay. New Gods and Eternals are the same goddamn movie. They did this with Captain America. They were never going to do Civil War. They did it before Batman v Superman, or right after Batman v Superman, but had the bigger marketing. They're really known for this, and I know that's exactly what they're doing this for, and it's apparent, because why else would they do this? It's so obscure. You could do more of a pretentious, fun think piece or like a trippy sci-fi kind of thing with this. It just doesn't seem like what they want to do, and it just seems like they're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, but again, in doing, even if that's the case, which it very well probably is, it forces them to do something weird.
Yeah.
Because, but
the rest of this list is weird. I will say I've critiqued MCU a lot for not being original or not being as bold or creative. They get pretty bold and creative with some of these.
I mean, I'm glad they're superseding New Gods, because the Ava DuVernay New Gods is not going to be a New Gods movie. It's going to be a Mr. Miracle and Big Barda movie, which isn't the New Gods. I mean, they're a part of that lore. And then they brought Tom King on. They just announced that he is officially starting working on that movie. And Tom King wrote a Mr. Miracle miniseries that fucking sucks.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I didn't finish it. Maybe that's a sign.
That's why that is the problem. Because I was like, this is reading pretty well, and then I got to the end of it, and I was like, that was fucking nonsense. Fuck you, Tom King.
Okay, maybe you saved me from that. Good,
yeah, don't finish it, because it read pretty well, and then I got to the end, and I was like, that meant nothing, and Tom King's an idiot. Which he is, by the way. I can't believe he's one of the highest paid comic book writers. He's a fucking idiot. Next we got Shang-CHI. Shang-CHI and the Legend of the Ten Rings. That'll be February of 2021. They're actually going to do the Mandarin. They're backpedaling on whatever the hell that was in Iron Man 3, and they cast an actual Mandarin. And they're doing that plot line that got introduced in the first Iron Man.
And can I just say, in a really cute turn of events, the actor they've cast, Simu Liu, I'm sorry if the pronunciation's wrong, he actually tweeted Marvel in 2014 being like, yeah, I love your films, but how about you cast an actual Asian American? And then he got the part.
Yeah, and actually up in December of this year when they announced Shang-Chi, he even tweeted Marvel and said, hey, I want this job of Shang-Chi. And like, I will say I love someone who wants a role and gets a role. So
it's like nominating yourself for your Emmys. You do it, people. Believe in yourself.
I really like this idea. I'm going to be like, hey, look, I love Thor, but why can't you get a fat bearded dude to play the role?
Stop putting a fat suit on Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. I got this. Everybody knows Thor is 5'7". Come on.
Shang-Chi is a comic book from the 70s that entirely was a ripoff of Kung Fu starring David Carradine. So this is interesting. They've done more stuff with him later. He was pretty core to like Jonathan Hickman's Avengers. Mm-hmm. It's got to be a different movie. That's the most exciting thing about this. Like the Eternals, like this can't really be a Marvel movie, a Marvel movie as we've come to know them. I mean, they can certainly put that sheen on it, but they got to do something strange with it, and that's fun.
Do we have a director?
We do.
She hasn't done much. She isn't, I think, a Chinese American as well. Really awesome director. Hasn't done too much. I think a lot of like indie work.
Is it like
she's good,
Chloe
and it's cool that they casted
something?
a woman and a Chinese woman on top of it. I was like, cool, good job, Marvel.
I'm okay with
finding
that.
Smoke this time.
I'm okay with that, but I was honestly asking that question because if the answer was no, I just wanted to put it into the universe that Stephen Chow can make a Marvel movie, and that would be the best Marvel movie ever made.
I will say the only thing with Shang-Chi I have is this is a beautiful thank you to China for doing all the heavy lifting of every Marvel movie ever. This is them going, wow, you are 75% of our box office. We got you. We got you.
Well,
it's a better.
Just on the speaking from my day job, I have discovered that China is going to overtake the US as the biggest global box office. I think it's as early as next year. So
makes sense since they've got a lot more people than us.
More of this courting China because they have all the dollar.
It is a better thank you to China than half-heartedly cutting Fan Bingbing into a weird cut of Iron Man 3.
By the way, what's happening with her? Does anybody know?
I have no idea, but
she's still stuck in China, I think.
Because she's the one that went off the radar because of tax fraud, and then they kind of pulled her out to prove that she wasn't in prison or camp. It's horrendous, and I suddenly realised I haven't heard anything about her since. I hope she's okay.
A quick aside here, that's not related to this podcast, but it's related to our other podcast, Four Color Film Podcast. If any of our listeners here can get me a copy of Chinese Iron Man 3, I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I would rather do that than the original Iron Man 3.
I need Chinese Iron Man 3.
Get it to us.
That sound like it's literally Iron Man 3 with Chinese state propaganda in it, and that sounds amazing. After that, we've got in the spring of 2021, back on Disney Plus, WandaVision. Which
sounds like some amazing 1960s housework tool.
And that's exactly what this is going to be. From what I know of her, she snaps and makes a 50s housewife-esque reality to her life. With Vision. So, because she can kind of bend reality, they haven't done it as much as they could in the MCU, because, MCU. But they could really have fun with her, and she's going to tie into one of the next ones we talk about. So her bending reality makes a lot of sense. And sometimes, from what I remember, I don't know, Alan, she makes her Vision kids in here, right?
I guess that's what the concept is, which means that they are doing Tom King's Vision book, except with actually putting Scarlet Witch
everywhere you don't want him to be.
Fuck.
Can I just say, the last thing I need is another timeline, alternate universe. Too much.
Yeah, well, Doctor Strange, Multiverse, Madness in the Multiverse.
Speaking of that, the Multiverse of Madness.
That's it. Which sounds like...
the first one.
I like this title a whole lot because it sounds like a ride at Six Flags or something.
Yeah, it's the dumbest shit ever, and I love it.
You know what it's an homage to? H.P.
And the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
And I want that so bad. Scott Derrickson is a horror director. He didn't get to play in the genre in the first Doctor Strange. I have a 50-50 relationship with that movie. Kind of love it, kind of hate it.
Yeah,
But this one
decent.
Got me. They're including Wanda in this movie where she's always needed to be. He can help her grow the magical side of her, which they never wanted to call her magic. They've always made it science. He could help the magic side of her. This has so much potential. I want him to fight a big Cthulhu-looking monster. I just want this to be kind of what Alan was saying, where Shang-Chi and the Eternals, even WandaVision, can't be typical MCU, and I'm so excited for this one. There's one later on we'll talk about, but this one so far I like.
This is going to be the kind of a litmus test for everything else in the MCU going forward, because if they can do this properly, because they're saying that this is going to be, they didn't use the word horror, I think they were just
scary.
Yeah, a scarier MCU film.
Yeah.
But if they can do this properly, then that tells me that they're willing to play with their properties instead of making the same movie 28 goddamn times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this block is really the one. WandaVision and the Multiverse of Madness is me looking at the MCU going, this is your moment. They don't need to dramatically shift. I don't expect them to make pretentious art movies. But I also expect something a little different, and I think they can do it. And then we go to these two next ones, and we'll see.
In spring of 2021, we have Loki, which okay, before I say anything else, the concept of this is that it's Loki after the end game. It's the end game Loki that escapes when they fuck up the past. Somebody fix this fucking logo because I don't know what fucking freshman graphic designer that they got to put this thing together, but it's fucking awful.
Yeah, graphic design is my passion.
It's atrocious. It's like it's 4 different fonts for each letter, and it stop.
But Tori, what do you think?
It's snazzy. It's snazzy, that logo. It reflects the multiple facets of Loki's cheeky personality. I don't know.
Now,
whatever. I don't care. As long as Tom Hiddleston is in it in some way, shape, or form, I'm all over that shit.
I do have one question about this, because they released kind of like the concept of it, which is that after he escapes, he's going to be going through time to like show how he's influenced different things throughout history. That's cool. Motherfucker didn't have the time stone, he had the space stone, so he could go through space and influence shit. He can't go through time and influence shit, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of right, but also it's Loki. I feel like they could just be like, it's Loki.
Yeah.
I personally wanted this to be, I don't know which comic book is doing it, but someone did like a teen Loki, and I really wanted teenage Loki because I really vibe with all of that. He vibes to like my like Young Avengers stuff I like with like Wiccan and Hulkling and all that, but like I wanted that. Did you just scoff at me, Alan?
That wasn't me.
I chuckled at the idea of the word Hulkling. I'm sorry.
He's gay and he dates Wiccan. Oh, leave him alone.
It's adorable, but the name is stupid.
I've actually just realised you're talking about you wanted the teen Loki. Obviously, earlier on in like the announcement phase, no one knew when the Loki show would be set, and they hadn't said, and there was a lot of talk that actually Tom Hiddleston may not actually be in it. He'd just be taking on like a narrative role. But now I've realised they've confirmed that it's going to be taking place after Endgame. It kind of has to be him, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think they...
So
he's got some work again.
Yay. Yeah, I think kind of mixing our ideas. Teen Loki with Loki narrating it, and give me some Asgard drama. Make it a game.
No! Don't take Tom Hiddleston off the screen.
I think he could still be maybe like Crypt Keeper. He's reading the book of the day kind of thing. Like, let's talk about this story. I would have loved a Game of Thrones-ish Asgard show, because Asgard in present day, we ain't got no Asgard. So I want some of that medieval-ish whatever fantasy drama that they have. I think they could have got it here, but I'm fine. This is one of the ones I'm not interested in, but I'll see Hiddleston just to see.
Do they drag Chris Hemsworth into this?
They haven't said. I mean, I'm sure his contract is wide-ranging enough that wouldn't be an impossibility.
I was going to say, he is in the next topic we're talking about. He's been confirmed for that with a bunch of other people. So I believe he is okay with Disney streaming services.
Okay. If not, and if they do, like, Teen Loki, I'm pretty sure Chris Hemsworth has, like, 8 younger brothers that look just like him, so they can just pick one of those guys.
Actually, it's just the one younger and then one older, I think.
I'm sure there's a Billy Bob Helmsworth back in the
There is one. I think there is one that's, like, undiscovered so far. Or is an actor, I can't remember which.
After that, in summer of 2021, so I guess we're just going to be packed in 2021 altogether, because 6 of these are coming out then.
Oh yeah.
God,
2 in like a movie and a show in spring. Well, 2 shows in spring. These are both spring, Loki and WandaVision. And then in summer we've got What If. What If is an old Marvel comic book that is exactly what it sounds like. It's different things, like if scenarios had gone different ways. This one will be, I think, narrated by the Watcher, played by Jeffrey Wright. If you don't know Jeffrey Wright, he's Felix Leiter in these Bond movies ever since Craig's been Bond. That's Jeffrey Wright, right?
Jeffrey Wright, right.
This is one I'm excited for, because Marvel can each week play. Like, I can't wait to, like, because I believe Michael B. Jordan was casted for this, or at least announced in like Peter Dinklage. Everyone was Mark Ruffalo. There's a lot of people announced for this. I would love to see is what if Killmonger didn't die, so we get a different Black Panther route. There's a lot you can do here.
What if Ant-Man was a good movie?
Well, Peyton Reed would not have to have been casted there or hired for director. That's the first mistake. No, I think this is a good way of playing. And kind of how Tori was just like, oh, no, not different timelines. I think this is the one way I think we could all be okay with being like, look, whatever we see that week isn't matter.
Yeah, we can just forget. We don't have to.
This is fine. This is playful, being exploratory. Don't have to cram it in your head and keep it in there for all time for any other Marvel property you may end up seeing at some point over the next years.
Yeah, I think this could be such a fun outlet for the brand of having to always be so suit and tie serious. Be stupid for once, and I want this to be the stupid that I want, like the goofy.
Yeah. There's only one small complaint I had about this from what they've told us this weekend, and I'll get over it. It's just whenever they first said it, I was like, oh, man. And that's that it's an animated series. I expected that it would be a live-action series when they first announced it.
Oh, what if it's animated?
Yes.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. It's completely animated.
Okay.
So
it is animated.
That saves budget so much.
Well,
it does.
And they can go back and like, oh, this is what if this thing happened during this timeline, going back to movies that came out 15 years ago, and we're not like, he is so much older now.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm okay with it after I thought about it.
Yeah, it's a weird choice, but again, like DC Universe has their animated stuff. I think Marvel really needed because they've always struggled in the animation department. I love a good DC animated movie, a good DC show. Maybe Spider-Man and X-Men from the 90s are the only Marvel animated stuff I'll handle. So they need something good like this.
Yeah, that's fair. They had a good Avengers show once. They canceled it. After that, we have in fall of 2021 on the Disney Plus streaming service, a Hawkeye show.
Who the fuck wanted that? Sorry.
Well,
let Jeremy Renner have his moment.
It's not about Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner's moment was any other movie he was in that wasn't a Marvel movie.
Yeah, no one said, oh man. Yeah. Since
also,
we didn't get Hawkeye
in anymore. It's good.
What?
Like let Jeremy Renner have his life. He has a new single out. He's trying to make an album. Like
he is a musician.
I will let him have that. He doesn't need a fucking TV show now.
Are you fucking with me?
No, we're not putting that song on this podcast.
Well, I'm not doing that because we'll get sued.
Just wait
out. What kind of music does Hawkeye do?
It's white dad music. I know that's going to offend somebody, but like you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like cute,
Bruce Springsteen. So I'm in.
It's like just nice, easygoing. He's strumming a guitar. There's a nice little beat. It's just so simple, nice music. But yeah, it's Jeremy Renner, and it sounds like Jeremy Renner, which is not a good thing in music. Like he has a voice that I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like how you sound.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if that's something.
This one, I'll give it points because something overall I've noticed with a lot of these Marvel things in this lineup, there's a lot of women in a lot. Eternals, Aquafina's going to be in Shang-Chi. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of here, and with Hawkeye, they're using his daughter in this, which we kind of saw at the beginning.
Are
they using his daughter? Because they said that Kate Bishop is going to be in this, who is the second Hawkeye.
Right.
Yes.
Which, that could be interesting. And, I mean, I just don't like Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye. Like,
he's boring and he had a stupid haircut in the last movie.
Like, I think you can do a good Hawkeye something or other. And, look, I like Jeremy Renner.
I hate him even more because he died instead of because Black Widow died instead of him.
And I think you can do interesting things with the character of Hawkeye, but we have had 10 years of Hawkeye being not interesting at all with Jeremy Renner, and I think it's time to move the fuck on.
Is this them going? It's like, man, you know what? We do need, like, the original 6 all need their own thing. Black Widow's getting her movie, so fuck it. Here, just have your Hawkeye show. Whatever. We'll cancel it after 3 episodes.
I mean, I'm not got to be like, not my Hawkeye, because I don't have a Hawkeye, but, like, it's just not fun. You could do anything you want with Hawkeye, just make it fun, and Jeremy Renner has not been fun once.
I hate him at birthday parties.
So fuck that. I'll probably watch it out of obligation, which is even more frustrating. And then following that, November 5th, 2021, we get Thor 4. They didn't call it Thor 4, which is irritating.
Yeah.
I love this title so much.
I love this title. I love this logo. It's Thor 4, Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder.
And
It's like peace and love. It's all hippies and long hair and chilling.
Fuck that, it's still 80s.
This gave me pure 80s,
fine.
like glam rock. That movie Airplane, like, or Heavy Metal. Sorry, the movie Heavy Metal. Which, I wanted trash 80s vibes in this, and there's a lot in this that makes it, I think, more than Multiverse of Madness. This is my favorite. We get Jane Foster. We get Tessa Thompson being a big old gay girl, and I can't wait for that. She's looking for a queen. We get Taika Waititi back. There's just so much in here that I'm craving, and I think this could be one of the more fun ones out of anything. I think Thor
absolutely
is finally shifting in a good direction after Endgame, after Thor Ragnarok. This is a moment for him, and I hope he can keep it up.
Yeah, I can't believe they talked Natalie Portman into coming back.
Right. It had to be Taika Waititi. Like, she was impressed with what they did after, and Dark World. So she was like, I'm back, whatever, let's do this.
And I think she's always not hated these. I think she's hated the role that they gave her. And now that they're going to do Lady Thor, we're going to get her being a badass. I think they're going to really impress her with this by giving just a non-damsel in distress role for Natalie Portman. Because she's usually not that type of girl. Like, I don't know her as that. And it felt weird in the MCU movies going, really? This is what we're doing with you?
Yeah, it was a waste of Natalie Portman.
This does slightly raise a question for me, though, is like, what's going to happen if you've got Thor Love and Thunder and also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
I think they're going to separate those two pretty quickly, unless Thor Love and Thunder, which this is my kind of hope, as much as I hate to say it, doesn't have Chris Hemsworth.
No, he's confirmed. He's there.
Fuck. I was going to hope that this is a side story without that Thor, where she just becomes Thor in his absence.
Wait, I don't know how they're going to do this because his hammer's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't have.
And also, this is coming out.
He has his hammer.
No, he doesn't.
He got the one from back in the day.
Cap
took it back.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh shit. I don't know. They'll away.
When is
What if when he takes it back, she gets it
coming out?
They have not announced that. Hopefully
never. So this has to happen before then. So they've got to kind of address the non-hammer, and I'm chilling with my Guardians crew.
That's exactly.
Yeah, I'm hoping the Guardians drop him off at the beginning of the movie, like, hey, that's fun, cute, joke, bye, and then they're gone.
No, that's exactly how to do it.
Pratt's like, I'm the Chris here. Good day, Hemsworth.
I just fantasy booked this goddamn movie. Like, there is no Chris Hemsworth except for, like, in, passing or showing, like, past scenes or whatnot. Because when Captain America went back in time, instead of returning Mjolnir to Thor, because he had to, put the Infinity Stone back to her or whatever, he just, two birds, one stone, so she got the hammer then. She's been Thor since, like, Thor 2.
But that's an alternate universe.
Yeah, who cares?
You don't want this to be an alternate universe.
But you know what I do want?
What?
Then bring back Kat Dennings. What's up?
All right, she'll be back. Buff Natalie Portman better get ripped. Is all I'm saying. I want buff Natalie Portman more than I want.
She managed the ballerina body, so I'm sure if you tell her to pack on the muscle,
in
a different way,
and
could.
Annihilation, she got a little bit bigger than you. Natalie Portman's. She's a naturally kind of a more petite girl, so she won't be like swole, but I think she can get a good body in this. I think
what a great word.
Rip Portman.
I even think because like Tessa Thompson has a similar-ish build, and I think Tessa looks great in her role as well. So
yeah, I think she's got a little more to her than Natalie. Portman.
I think she's taller.
Yeah, she's got a little more of a build. I don't know. She just better get ripped. That's all I'm saying. Is anybody getting pissy about female Thor?
I mean, I haven't been in enough messages.
I think nerds have already gotten that out of their system when they did that in the comics.
Yeah, we're gonna get that late in the game. I hate it just because it's coming out stuff. But I think after the announcement, it's Waititi. I think everyone was kind of like, "In him we trust" kind of vibe. And
and also,
even if they've never heard of this, they weren't like, "What?" I think they were like, "We'll see."
people were pissing on that idea when it was coming to the comics, and honestly, those are some of the best Thor comics to be printed since Jack Kirby left. So
doesn't surprise me.
So it's fine. Yeah, and also we got so that's the last one that is confirmed with a date. They confirmed that there's going to be a Fantastic Four movie. We all knew that.
We assumed that was coming.
Yeah. And we got a surprise announcement as they dragged out Mr. Mahershala Ali, which
yes,
and they said that he was Blade.
Yeah.
So I did my yes a bit too soon. But, I'm surprised.
I mean, you wooed for Mahershala. That is fine. He is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just any Mahershala I'm there for.
I was reading just an article with that on there, and I looked at his name, and I was like, how did I not know how to pronounce this at any point? It's clearly just Mahershala. Like it's exactly there. There's no trick to it. But yeah, that's exciting.
And yet again, that's going to be another test of Marvel. Is this going to be an R-rated Blade?
It's got to be. Did they announce it's going to be R-rated
They
Blade?
haven't said. No, it's still far enough out.
He put a hat on, they put a logo, and Wesley Snipes cried somewhere while not paying his taxes.
Well, he got to play the role recently, so it's okay.
Oh, God, yeah.
He came back and did it. So what did he do that in?
What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And he Skyped in.
Yeah. I remember somebody talking about that.
This Blade announcement, only thing I wish is I kind of wanted him with, I know this movie's probably not going to do well, is the Jared Leto Morbius Sony side and the Venom side. That's kind of where I wanted Blade to go, is I think he fits more in those darker Marvel universes than this. But as Gerald said, this could be their test. I almost can't say this typical Marvel movie after looking at this lineup, because they might change that notion.
Yeah,
which they
this
needed
is all
to.
weird.
They got us. They got their highest grossing movie of all time, which I don't know if we talked about, but Avengers
is
the
highest
grossing movie of all time.
Yeah,
blah blah blah. We all knew it.
It made it. Congratulations,
Disney.
Tried and pushed
good job on beating yourself.
I think this is a good sign, and I think Blade will get me in. Mahershala is a great pick. Who they get as a lead with him? Maybe Wesley Snipes can play like a Whistler role, even if I don't know something. We could find something in this to make it really enjoyable, and I'm glad it wasn't a streaming show, because I got nervous that they were going to do that to Blade.
Quick question. Wasn't he the villain in Luke Cage?
Yes, but he's only in like 4 episodes of like an 8-episode season, and I think his name was Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
He isn't an actor that did well, but this does show that those Netflix guys can still get picked up for other work.
Yeah.
I.e., give Christian Ritter a job somewhere.
What that proves is that either the Netflix shows are not canon anymore, or we can just double cast people and we can give Idris Elba something better to do than stand there with a sword.
Well, Idris is going to the Suicide Squad by James Gunn, so I don't know. I think he's already...
And Cats, guys. Don't forget he's in Cats.
Yes.
I will never forget. In fact, I might see Cats because of that.
And this is the second Luke Cage actor, because Alfre Woodard was in
Civil War.
And she was also randomly in Civil War as a grieving mother. Yeah. So I think
she's in The Lion King, guys. Don't forget.
You were like the Disney Jiminy Cricket on our shoulder, being like, "What here? There's still this."
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm excited for. I'm actually nothing in this lineup makes me go, "Holy shit, I can't wait!" But looking at the lineup as a whole, I'm like, that's a good direction. Like, that's weird. That's not more of the same.
Considering how down on Marvel in general we've been, yes, I'm admitting it. And how we're done with Marvel, and I'm still the whole other Disney cannibalizing the box office and being a terrifying company, even though I love them. That's a whole other discussion. I'm intrigued by quite a lot of these things. For everyone that I know nothing about and probably won't watch, potentially the Eternals, there's a Loki, there's definitely Blade, and obviously Thor: Love and Thunder. So I may. Who am I kidding? I will. So.
Yeah, it looks like a great time, guys. I cannot believe we have gone almost 2 hours on this show.
Whew.
You know what we didn't even mention?
What?
Anybody watch that Watchmen trailer?
No.
Oh, no.
I did. It looked cool.
I'm actually sold. Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week.